Previously on the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolved.
A so-called English lady swanned in, and without any compunction, said to Professor Mikitoba, "You's a filthy hoe, slut! What?" Then she smacked him in the face and ran away. And everyone in the building just went, "Oh!"
Holy shit, can you believe that happened? She just owned that guy. And that was the first time that expression had ever been used in that way. And now back to NicoB people.
Hello!
It's NicoB. Back with some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. When we last left off, we brought in reporter guy and began interrogating him. And very quickly realized, oh yeah, no, this guy did it. This guy definitely freaking did it. He didn't do a very good job of hiding it either. But that's kind of how it goes with these first cases, right? Things move relatively quickly. And overall, since I know that this has already been pre-recorded, right? This part up here as we get to it. I already know that this is going to end this episode. It still ended up being an episode shorter than the first Great Ace Attorney, which I think let me check. I think those episodes I even did, it wasn't like these were relatively short, right? I had a few that were like about an hour, at least. I mean, short for me, I guess. Sometimes mine can easily go up to well over an hour. Well, they were on kind of the shorter end too when I did the other one, but that first case and the last one was 5 episodes long, and each one was about an hour. And this one, what do we got? We got about the same, actually. So this next one will likely be about an hour. It's still, so in comparison, it's still probably an hour shorter in this game than it was in the last one. And I think that's good. I mean, granted, like I said, I was really into this case, and they did a lot to really grab my attention right from the get-go. So it's not like if it had gone to another 5 episode, I wouldn't have probably mind that much. But I think this is probably at the absolute greatest degree, right? I think this is what the previous first case should have been, its length. And I think that's like the maximum it should have been. Because even this is pretty long for a first case. Because the other Ace Attorney games honestly had pretty short first cases. You could finish them in 2 episodes. And I did see some people, by the way, argue that, the reason they did that for the first case was to drive home the friendship between Asogi and Naruhodo. And while I do agree, I still feel like they could have gotten that point across without having to go as far as they did, go as long as they did. Because it really did feel dragged out to me. Because come on, I mean, other games like Phoenix in his relationship with his boss, right? His mentor in that game. We still got that relationship, realized that it was an important one, right? But without having to spend 5 hours in the first case, right? And she dies the next case afterwards. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree that we needed that time to really drive it home. But anyway, I'm done talking about that. I'm sorry. I know I bring it up all the fucking time. I'm sorry. Just because we're in the first case, I'm just comparing it to the first one. So I know you guys are probably fucking tired of hearing me bring it up. So I'm sorry. I'm done. But anyway, last episode, our robot Orange said, not a spoiler. I like you said that. I think I should mention this as it could lead to future headaches, not only in this game, but for future games, which, well, actually at this point, there's not really any other games for me to play, but I guess maybe future games, assuming that we get any more Ace Attorney games. In Japan, self-defense is very, very different. You are expected to do the minimum amount of damage to the person trying to assault/kill you. Meaning if you give them more than a slap or a punch, then you would be arrested for trying to stop someone from trying to assault/kill you. For example, if someone tried to shoot you, we're expected to just run away and not try to assault the person back. The most you could do legally is punch them. Edit, by the way, this applies to all types of assault: physical, battery, verbal, or aggravated, and sexual, not just murder. Sorry for any confusion. Is that honestly true? Because if that is, that's fucking batshit crazy in my opinion. That is so insane. That would sort of explain why in that moment, though, why we weren't we didn't immediately go, oh, hey, if this is a case of self-defense, then her charges would be less, right, than literal first-degree murder. But if that's how that works, that is stupid. That is insanely stupid. I don't know. Is that part of Japanese culture of politeness, even to the person who's trying to fucking kill you? I would love to know why that's a thing. If that really is true, why that exists and is the way it is, because that is batshit insane to me. I feel like this is actually something that we've run into in other Ace Attorney games as well, like a very similar thing with like self-defense. And I think it got localized to where they would bring it up, but it still seems so odd to me because self-defense is a very viable defense, right, in the American court system. It's something that you can really argue and not really get much of a repercussion. You know, it's like, oh shit, well, I kind of didn't want to die, Your Honor, and so yeah, I did shoot the guy that was trying to shoot me. Oh well, okay, that's a pretty good point. I guess that makes sense. Not wanting to die and all, so maybe that applies. I mean, because in reality, right, all the previous Ace Attorney games, we joke around, haha, Japanifornia, but in reality, the game was made in Japan, and the setting is actually Japan, okay? It's a very Japanese setting they're in, okay? You can localize it all you want, all right? Eat your hamburgers, Apollo. But Robot Orange, thank you so much for sharing that very disturbing tidbit, and I feel like it does explain some things, even if it is ridiculous. I would love to know. I'd love to hear if that is like truly the case, because I'm like, part of me almost doesn't believe it because it just sounds so insane. Is that reason that you are comment of the day? I would love to know what the logic behind that is. Like, how is that a thing? How is that a thing? So I don't think it's even just the West, right? I don't think the US is like the only one with like self-defense laws. I think many other European countries have it as well. Maybe it's more like Asian countries specifically? I don't know if China specifically. I don't know. That's something I could kind of see China not doing. I don't know. So maybe like China and Japan and Korea and stuff is something that's like not as prevalent. I don't know. Be an interesting thing to sort of look up. But anyway, all right. I'm gonna leave this to freaking past Nico. He's gonna continue with this crazy case to its conclusion. Take it away, man. Lateral 2. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means the defendant, Membami-san, is innocent of the crime. Nah, we're not done yet. Come on.
Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
Thanks, Daddy.
No, this can't be goddamn Julie, I swear to fuck you, Naruto clan! The Aoshi clan kid! What of my growth? What of my hope? It wasn't all an apparition! I cannot accept this! I won't!
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude the proceedings. Ah! Who could have possibly said that? Tell me right now. He said that with his hat still on his face.
Well, this is all very convenient. Is thou the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut over the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now.
Irrelevant?
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference, if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else.
Ooh, new expression. Yeah, he's saying that wasn't what killed her, though, right? I mean, although he's still not denying that he stabbed her. But all that matters is how the poison in her system, and it wasn't on the knife, right?
What are you talking about?
Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up.
What?
Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness.
What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed.
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood.
Oh, I see the silver lining. Ah, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. He's doing my job for me, precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection! Forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. So, let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turn out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Oh, dicks. Well...
She's dropping like a fucking shotgun. Like, ah! Good God, everybody, shut the hell up! Order! Order! But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There's undeniably an obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
You mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either.
So somebody made Miss Brett drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Hold it!
You still stabbed her? Established? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Me? What on earth does he mean?
Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press fodder, this is.
it would seem this trial is not destined to end yet.
It's not over yet, Snake.
After all, I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony.
That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency.
You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim.
I'm a Jono and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide anything from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now, because that's minimalism.
I'm getting so fucking sick of hearing that horse. Fuck! For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminate the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where's this trial going to take us?
Where's it gonna go?
All right.
Complete innocence. Oh, I'm just kicking in now.
Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I bother to stab a woman if I had already poisoned her? Sure I did. I stabbed the fuck out of her, and she deserved it.
I mean, he's got it right. He's got to basically admit that he did it. But it's just still like, I think it'll lead to some other charges.
When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. So I murdered the fuck out of her, except not really.
So, you admit it then, that everything happened as I described. That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the read screen.
You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and its murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. Fuck that bitch. She deserved to demon die that day. As someone who spends his life seeing the truth, that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart.
You're implicating Rei again.
She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence.
And suddenly, snap! This journal here is off the hook.
The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
I mean, I guess you could say try to blame the... Could have used it to blame Rei, so the blame was less likely to look at that, but would the blame have even fallen on him at all? It seemed like all that really ended up doing was implicating him more by basically stabbing her with a knife, right? And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical. That's right, it is. Logical and true. I'm glad you've so seen the light. Justice at last.
It's unbelievable. And after I've made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now?
Slap those cheeks, girl! Woo!
Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward till the judge's final gavel.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial.
Yes, Your Excellency.
All right. He didn't really have a whole lot, though, did he? He only had 4. So let's go ahead and keep pressing on this shit. Oh, yes, the stabbing this woman is that very fact that proves I'm innocent.
So, you do admit that you had murderous intentions towards Miss Brett, then?
Ha! The woman's very existence offended my sense of justice.
Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation?
She was pure evil. A cold-blooded killer committed murder right here on Empire soil. But did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice, put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it.
So in summary, murderous intentions then.
Whatever you want to call it, the point is this. That Englishwoman was a blight. So I had to do what was right for society. Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock, a crime for which she must pay. Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her?
Hold it! Marta! So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim?
Obviously, that'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you were already wearing braces like these. The accused administered the poison, following which this witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. That crime rests on the accused's shoulders. That is how the law works, you see, yokel. Who knows? You may even learn something here today.
2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes. Quite a day for the victim.
Do something that evil and you've got it coming. That's how the law works. The law of reckoning.
That's not the kind of law this court upholds.
You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim, then witness.
When I heard the student girl and the pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat.
Hold it!
What exactly were they arguing about?
About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago. That's what. The student girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Watson.
Yes, John H. Watson, professor of medicine, invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less.
Right, but the Englishwoman just jeered. Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. It was eating the student girl up inside. You could see it. I really felt for her. Oh. Ah! Rei? Yep.
I can't. I can't stand here and listen to this tripe. Rei!
You girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whatever you feel like it. That's our job to do that.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
But this awful man is making all of this up. Sister, please, you have to make them listen.
Uh-oh. Don't call me Susanoo, you idiot.
Return to the dock at once, Membami-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination.
Hold it. Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, great peeping Tom!
Whoa, take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I will grant the request of the defense.
But, Your Excellency!
This is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Okay.
It was nothing to do with Dr. Watson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
And then just jump back to him again? Yeah.
Hold it!
All right.
Hold it! The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Watson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
That's true. I pestered Professor Mikitoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail.
Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Saseki-san expressed such interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away, other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance.
I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with the deadly poison. I want to look at my old enemy in the eye. Surely can understand that.
Oh god. Flashbacks.
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government, even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah yes. Minimimo-san. One small question if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy? About to go to jail for assault?
Clearly you were outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of the Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, look at this. The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett. Word for word. Well, Minimimo-san.
As a journal, and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's the founding principle of minimalism.
Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut.
An article about poison that was stolen from a laboratory at Yume University, reporter Minamimo-san, based on the information you gathered by eavesdropping.
So that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up! My story is devastating. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on the record.
Very well, you may amend your formal testimony.
Getting real angry. The point is, if you don't poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab the person as well.
Hold it!
Perhaps you doubt the efficacy of the poison and sought to make sure your victim would die.
That's horse dog.
What?
That would be like pouring pepper on your Chinese ramen before you'd even tasted it. Completely reckless. Although, it might surprise you to learn that I am a bit of an impetuous pepper pour as it happens.
Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have only been minutes away from death. And yet this man then proceeded to stab her in the back as well. There has to have been a good reason for that.
If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly, he must have done it prior to Rei entering the hut.
Yes, that's undeniable.
But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation.
Sorry? What change?
The reporter overheard the conversation between Rei and the Englishwoman.
Yes, that's it. That's when Minimo-san first found out the exact nature of the poison he'd used. That could be the key here.
If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her. On the face of it, that logic sounds entirely reasonable.
There's no question this man was responsible for Miss Brett's murder.
If we could think of a plausible explanation as to why he might have stabbed her even after the poisoning, I feel that everything would drop into place.
Okay. Actually, no, I think that is it. I think he's trying to lay the blame on her.
Objection!
Yeah, just present the article.
Well, I can think of one reason.
What?
Before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut?
Of course he did! There can be no question of that! After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, all we were told is that it was a terrible toxin!
And there's one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection! Where are you going with this, counsel?
Minamino-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
Ha!
Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before the Membami-san entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison. At which point, Minamino-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information? What is it? Is it bad news for me, in this case?
The information which she subsequently included in a newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in a strict secrecy, and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could have come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone inflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable. In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would have reduced the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
Yeah. Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Membami-san being no exception.
Therefore, we conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you, right in Minamimo. It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day, and it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake, because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable.
Yeah, so he was the one that actually took it. Which, yeah, makes sense.
As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the reed screen.
Objection! But what good can that possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
Hey, think we maybe used some other kind of poison. Why do you have to go for the super particular poison that they were working on at the laboratory, right? Did you not just get some, like, I don't know, some rat poison or some shit? They don't have that shit in Japan?
Order, order, order! The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have an counter-argument it wishes to put forward?
Unfortunately, this is all circumstantial, right? We don't actually, this isn't proof.
Well, there are a number of, yes, I counter completely.
Objection!
Prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope.
Lost? Ah!
Yeah.
Hold it, it's me again.
Nah, we don't, it's all, it's circumstantial. It's no actual hard evidence.
Ah, you pathetic, useless, fallen samurai! Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? My virtue growth. I don't need a counter argument.
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say. Give it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter argument because you don't have any argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts.
Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my many memos even. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the Show You News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
Oh, no, here we go. I actually called it. I was right. I was actually right the earlier on. It was. He put the poison inside of his pin. That's what he did. That's how he got it out of there. There's also the reason why he had that blotch on his hand, right?
How's that then? Blown the story wide open? See, I, Rei Membami, I'm a reporter from the Show You News. Couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory. Ah!
But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. And if that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here.
What's your point, you knowingly handsome country bumpkin? You knowingly beautiful sexual beast, you? Oh, God.
My point is this. There's one way that you, Membami-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
I have heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence. What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question? Behold.
The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
Ha!
A fountain pen? How can that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now.
I swear by a weasel hair, calligraphy brush, and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad.
Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously, I love my fountain pen. Suck up a soup. Oh, God. Suck up a soup con of sumptuous ink and once work as a wash with words in the blink of an eye.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What does all this talking of sucking up ink have? Oh, God! What does all this sucking dick have to do with... Ah!
Just as it's possible to suck out ink up into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word. Can this really be?
Well, Membami-san? When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Gah! Now the way we have to actually look and check for that is we have the stuff on us, right, to check the reagent.
More absurdity! That never happened!
True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say that for the fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. Well, this is quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pin was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Minami-san. So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pin dropped?
Are you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that when your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pin after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
Objection! There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
Objection!
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled his reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
Ah!
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense?
So, this is how modern justice system works, is it?
So, this is how many times are you gonna say this shit, dude? Seriously.
So what if think if my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps? Oh, I got Wolverine claws now. I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Yeah!
Oh, everyone's fucking dead. Pencils are stuck in their chest.
You claim I sucked the poison up into my pen? That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring down a fine upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again.
Looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. Yeah, here we go. As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. And therefore, it all depends on whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence.
Ha! No such evidence could possibly exist.
Objection. Minami-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Show us that power! Very well then, I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence one last time. The nail in the coffin!
Sit. Then, this will be the final piece in the puzzle.
Oh yeah! Let's go do it, Susanoo. Show them your true team power.
The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison.
Behold! Ah! The one thing we hadn't used yet. Counsel, what is this? What is that bottle?
This bottle contains a unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to take traces of it by any other method.
Or from another perspective. Simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison.
A reagent? What?
One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Minami-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt.
No, you can't. I won't. I'll kill you all.
Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat. Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Ha! Ah! This isn't my fault! The Empire drove me to this! Trying to hold his head high as civilization found every foreign nation at the collapse of the foreign parliament. Oh, the name of justice, righteousness, oh my God.
Susato, with me!
Behold.
I'm there!
Oh my God. Ah! Oh, dual time.
Did I do it right? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it? Not quite. that was a Ryotaro takedown.
Fuck yeah. Get fucked. Oh, that was awesome. Leave that guy the fuck out. Eat pavement, old man.
The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
Looks like the jig is up. When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got hold of me, and I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yes, that's right.
Answer me one thing, Menamimo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
So why did you come here and fucking follow Saseki around? How confident were you? Jesus. You don't think to like run or, I don't know, just not be in the vicinity of the fucking courtroom?
Isn't it obvious to find out what it was made of and expose it to it in an article? I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journal like me to pass up.
Oh, I see.
Then why did the English woman end up dead? I went to that hut intending to quiz her on her situation. That's all. As a reporter.
Yeah, but she said some shit that really got to him, right?
A known killer enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face.
Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism? Really? You must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways, you ignorant plebeian.
What did you call me?
This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free pass, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out and crawl back into the cave you came from.
Damn.
That's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time.
What a terrible tale.
In my head, I knew I'd just get out of there as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done, when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journo spirit getting all fired up. Yes, she deserved to die, and I hope she burns in hell! Does that mean I lost again?
Yes. I'd like to ask you something.
Yeah?
You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what happened in that courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up. That's what it was.
A cover-up? What do you mean?
I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say.
Oh, come on! Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national. Consular jurisdiction should have never come into it. And yet that puffed-up Englishwoman was going to sail away into the sunset a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan.
What sort of deal?
I'd done my research, dug up all the dirt. I was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editors tore the article up.
He came under pressure from the government, you mean?
If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done myself?
Let's not forget Minamimo-san. that you committed murder yourself, and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett.
What?
The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
I suppose.
Damn, son! You got fucked! It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense, Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Oh! Yes, yes, Your Excellency. Yeah, just musing in a manly way here. Just over here flexing my big giant boobs. I mean, my pecs.
It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience of the Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. You fucked up that ouchie good. In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits.
Oh, Naruhodo Ryunosuke, you mean?
The way you handled the trial 9 months ago and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that we are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land. It gives me hope that we're entering a fucking kick-ass Let's Play.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Ouchie, do you have any final thoughts?
Kill me! Oh my god! Yes, I am going to commit Sudoku, like we all said I would. See you later, bitches. I'll see you all in hell. Ah! Oh god, I see that crazy English bitch down here. Oh, she's laughing at me. Now I take my mind, I don't want to die. Oh,
Prosecutor Ouchie?
well, you know how it goes. Lose one, shame on you. Two, I'm fucking dead. I, Takatsuchi of the Ouchie clan, have been bested by a callow youth, not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it has withered and died here today.
Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it?
Silence! Shut up, I'm going through a character arc! His eyebrows. Rather than living on in shame, I will die. I will end it all now with this blade. For that is the true path to Ouchieism!
Ouchieism? What?
One hopes that's the only way in which we'll be modeling himself after the witness.
Seriously, no one's gonna try and stop me? You guys suck! Fuck this! Sprig of my top knot. It's Sagi's theme. The time is right for farewell. Hope is lost. Lost forever. Takatsuchi. God, I love this song so fucking much, dude. He just fucking slits his throat. No! That was a very clean cut. Fare thee well. Susanto's over there praying. Blah. I like how nobody thought he was actually just gonna kill himself. They're all just like, yes, obviously he's just gonna cut his hair, so we're not gonna intervene. Everyone was so solemn, even the audience. Dude, the fuck is going on? Are these people for real? It's just some hair. Calm down, dude. Get a toupee like a normal person.
Now, in regards to the defendant, Rei Membami-san,
Yes, Your Excellency.
I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty.
Let the ramen noodles fly. No, the cherry blossoms. That's right.
Let the cherry blossoms fly.
You always gotta let some shit fly, right?
Court is adjourned. Everybody formally walk out the door nice and quietly, and don't make too much noise or I'll get big angry.
God, you're still so lame, dude. You still have so much to learn. I can't wait for me, your great-great-great-grandchild judge, to come into the world and teach you the right way to judge. August 13th, 2:38 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 3.
It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing.
Oh, damn, look at that fucking,
Look at that fucking hot body.
Lawyers have such great responsibility, such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san? Susato! Susato! La 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 la! Thank you so much! You were so dashing in there! Rei and Father. Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... I know, I think I'm going to cry! It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too. Especially when we tossed that dumb reporter's ass on the ground. That shit was awesome. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. No, I can't take all of the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. And to also karate chop him. You did wonderfully, Rei. So I would have to say that the congratulations belongs to you. Susato, don't be so standoffish. Sorry? We're friends, equals, and the trial's over, so no more of this formal super humility nonsense. Give me a hug right now! It's time to celebrate with swagger, to throw caution to the wind. Caution to the... what? I'm the great defense lawyer, Ryotaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to a milk bar tomorrow.
What?
Or something. Right, I see. I'll, think about it, Rei.
A milk bar? What? Damn. Because I guess we're not of age to get crunked yet. Where they have milk bars in Japan? What the fuck? Or at least they did back in the 1700s? Or 1600s? What the fuck? I always forget what the fucking century this takes place.
At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of that horrid man, and it felt so good. Yes, it was satisfying. It really was. Is there anybody else who we could throw together?
I hope you're not looking at me, Rei.
I must toss somebody!
How about one of the random guys that guards the door?
Oh, my goodness, Saku, of course not! Of course not! There it is at last, Rei's lovely smile.
You fought for your friend to the very last. As her father, I'm extremely proud of you. Defense Attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without your help.
It's interesting though, so we've hit the end of this. We see why she died, but we still have yet to actually get any clarification as to Giselle Brett's motives, right? And the death of Dr. Watson. So that has not come up yet, not for this trial.
Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryotaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato and Mikotoba now.
Yay!
So, I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame.
What? Is happening?
Saseki-san and Inspector Hosonaga. I do hope you've been keeping well.
Is that really you?
Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope. But it's me, Susato Mikotoba. Don't tell nobody.
So dashing, so divine. No! Doubly dashing, yes, and devilishly divine. Just look at you. I had no idea, Miss Susato-san Esquires, that you were a local student Naruhodo-san Esquire's cousin. Astounding Ace Attorney!
He said it! He said the thing! We can get out of here!
I think maybe the first person that's ever actually said Ace Attorney in the entire series. It only took till the final fucking game.
Poor Saseki-san, so confused. I still remember the first time we met in fucking prison. I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Saseki-san was free to return to Japan. And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author.
I actually wonder if when we go back to Great Britain and searching trials there again, if we're going to see any of those same jurors that we saw before in the previous game, or if it's just going to be entirely new.
I'm stunned. That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea. And I'm a chief inspector at the police bureau who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less. Blah.
True, Mr. Turtle was brilliant.
I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Amazing. You're a woman of many faces, I see.
Just two, really. And this was a once-in-a-lifetime event, I hope. Oh, I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector.
Well, I'm a professional, of course.
I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes, I really do. And it's not just the fact that he's coughing up blood every 2 seconds. 9 months ago, when he appeared at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant.
Oh, right. That's right. He was a sailor. I forgot he was in the second case as well.
And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Sogi! Though that didn't help you, did it? Kazuma-san, Sama?
Sogi's still dead as fuck.
From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that the English woman committed at the end of the last year. Ah, yes. It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it.
Dr. John H. Watson, yes. The man I invited to Japan personally.
The mystery is, why did she kill him? And now the culprit herself is dead. We'll probably never know the answer.
Or will we?
On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter with a Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the great detective, I mean.
Yes, I remember Mr. Holmes well, of course. Hi, my arch nemesis. How lightly you utter his name.
Well, according to the stories published about him in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Watson. What? Dr. Watson? I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Holmes.
And Iris's dad.
If that's really true,
Aw.
then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again.
As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born.
Yes, grandmother told me about it.
On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at Imperial Yume University. But I also serve another role as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs.
Yes, I was aware of that as well.
In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you.
Ah. So maybe he actually knows?
Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan.
Yeah, okay. I did not misremember that. Because I was like, wait a minute. Was it not her dad, but her mother or something? That was like, because like, he's clearly fine. What I thought before was like, wasn't it like her father was incredibly ill? Then when he like showed up and it's like, no, he's here and he's fine and we're not talking about it. And I was like, I guess maybe I misremembered. No, I was actually right.
So you collapsed with a high fever and you were growing weaker by the day. What? Where'd that news come from? That's what I'd like to know. Because after that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way? Or harm me? That's really the only explanation I could think of.
Dear me, do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Suzuto? I'm sorry, my dear. I simply can't...
Oh, let me go! Die, witch, die!
Minami-mo-san! So, one throw wasn't enough for you?
I've got one last thing to say before they take me away. Professor?
Me?
I know the truth. I know you got a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate.
Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean?
No, not her. The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago.
What? Student of law? He must mean Kazuma-sama.
I was like, wait, Naruhodo or, yeah, oh, no, yeah, because Naruhodo was technically accompanying Asogi and then got blamed for another murder. But the real law student was actually Asogi.
Kazuma-sama. What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama?
Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never... Ah!
Oh my God!
Well, I didn't expect to find him in here.
What the fuck? The judge knows the Susanoo toss too? Apparently everyone just knows jujitsu in this land. Oh my God, Judge, what the fuck? Why are you so deadly in this freaking country?
What were you officers playing at?
I'm terribly sorry, Your Excellency. My bad, he just squirreled his way out of there. He's a squirrely one.
I was coming to tell you the rickshaw has arrived, Yujin. And it's a good job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him, and I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency?
Ha ha ha! The trial's over. I'm not your excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend. Seishiro Jigoku.
Hey! You have a name? You're not just great Judge Father?
May I say that, since I last saw you, you seem to have taken on a more dashing appearance.
Oh my god, did you know the whole time?
Susato.
Did you know all along? From the start of the trial?
Ha 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 ha! A judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk, as Seishiro here hadn't known and then he'd recognized you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend.
Wow, damn. Thanks, man.
So, Seishiro, shall we? Yes. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But well done again, both of you. You did admirably.
So nobody here actually knows that Kazuma died? What? But he clearly has a burial here, right? He was buried on a hill. That's what Susato went to visit, right?
Oh, thank you very much.
What do you think of my Seishiro sling, eh? It's been a while since
Everyone's got their own fucking thing. Susato toss, the Seishiro sling.
It's been a while since I've sent a man flying like that. Gah!
Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett, about Dr. Watson, and now it seems, according to the reporter, about Asugi! Kazuma-sama. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime, when nobody else is around.
Judicial Assistant Mikitoba-san, Esquire, S. Could I have a word?
Oh, yes, of course, Saseki-san. What is it?
I think perhaps it could be a fate that we're meeting up again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh?
I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England.
This I have to hear. Police, Saseki-san, tell me you want.
I will. As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness Locum student Naruhodo-san, Esquire, stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikitoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report.
My father?
He seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking you to return to Japan.
What was it then? The particular part my father was interested in.
I don't really know exactly. What? But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in?
Of course, I can never forget.
Your father seemed concerned mainly with the second case.
The second one? You mean the one Mr. Holmes forbade any of us to talk about in public? Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first.
Well, I don't care. I don't have to listen to what an asshole detective says. Anyway, the point is...
Wait, what? Huh? What? What the fuck? Are you telling me is there some other second case that we don't know about? I don't think it's referring to the final case. I don't think Saseki was involved in that at all. It was only involved in the fourth case, right? Yeah. Yeah, right? Are they saying there's another case that happened but they never showed us and we're gonna like flash back to it?
Anyway, the point is, it seems that the case somehow holds the key to all these curious unanswered questions. That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings.
The case that somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan? I thought that whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong.
It's only just begun.
Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps that story, is not yet told.
Oh, what the fuck? Were you telling me Suseki got in a fucking another, like, trial as well?
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Yeah, Susato's voice actress is actually, like, perfect. She's got a Japanese accent, but you can also hear a little bit of her English being British inspired as well. It's like legit perfect. And wow. All right, so I'm not like, right? I'm not fucking around. I'm not like missing something. No, I think that was, I got an achievement. Susato's success. No, they're talking about a totally new case that we have not seen that apparently also involves Suseki. I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about. This is not like the final case. Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Damn it. It's spoiling me what the name of the thing is next time. Motherfucker. Right? Wait, was it? Wait, is Kokoro? Hold on a second. Wait, no. Tile screen. It actually, wow, really? When I actually jump in there, it's actually showing me all the, no, don't show me that. Don't show me the fucking names of the cases. I thought I remembered a Kokoro being in this one as well. Oh. It was. No. Oh, it is. It's based off the fourth case. I guess they're saying that technically, because this was a part of the, wait, was it? I don't know, actually. Because I thought I did remember at some point us thinking this lodge was haunted as well. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But the Clouded Kokoro is basically Suseki, right? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if it's referring to this case specifically or just some other shit. It sounds like it's something new though, because she was like, it's something that has yet to be told. Ooh, cool. Either way, I'm excited. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to end things here for now. That was a fucking great first case, man. Super good. I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait to see where it goes. This game's already off to an amazing start, right? I actually don't know if this is gonna be 1 or 2 episodes, because at first I was like, it'll probably be just one relatively long one, but that part at the end kind of was extensive. That last like bit after we got out of the courtroom, so it actually might be split into 2 episodes. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed that first case as much as I did. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite. It really does help me out. And subscribe to our Red Company Penguin aboard this LP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.